What's up, guys? What's up, Ticket? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've been gone for a few days. I had a sinus infection over the weekend. And, getting better the last couple of days. So stream lagging? I hope not. I'm not dropping any frames. What's up, Sesti? Is the stream lagging? Lagging heavily for you? Is anybody else having lag? No? Okay, that's good. No lags on the stream? Okay, that's good. Yeah, for me, I see 0 frames dropped. So hopefully that means that it's not on me at least, hopefully. Nice, we got a game. We'll start the day off with a 12-11. Because this guy never goes full first. Who should be here, but it's kind of whatever. A little bit late on the gas saturation here. Shouldn't be a massive deal though. It's all fine. Play hatch first. Ah, that's not good though. Not the best micro whatsoever. Yeah, not the cleanest game ever, but first game of the day. Yeah, I feel like you gotta try to punish the players to play hatch first every game. Because I don't think it's safe. What do you do with 1-1 links? Depends on how they open. In general, kind of depends, but like if you're going like gasless roach, for example, or like speedless ling without ling speed into roach, just playing for a +2 timing is pretty strong. If you're also making Ling Bane, then going for +1 melee yourself is pretty strong, because then your Banelings still one-shots. But in general, it's just like, you know, playing defensively with Banelings is the general way to do it, but if you're playing without Banelings, I think playing for a +2 timing is pretty good. Not the most efficient build order here, but... mean, the ladder is pretty dead at like the Grandmaster level, that's for sure. You think you auto add in banelings as soon as you know it's upgraded links? Like if you're playing 3 base, then yeah, for sure. If you're playing a 2 base opener, I think you can... Like if you're not playing links already, then you might as well skip it. You want to touch first again? What a guy. Like I think they're all like pretty similar. Like, but like they're very different from each other, you know. Like they're more unique from one another compared to the AOE civs, even by like AOE 4 standards. Like I would just play a few games with each race, pick the one you find the most interesting, like the most fun. I think like if you're coming from AOE 4, then Terran will have the most like carryover, if that makes sense. Like will have the most similarities in how they function. Like it's the most like classical RTS designed race, if that makes sense. Not sure why I have a third queen. It's kind of a mistake. Yeah, it's kind of a mess, this game. The third queen kind of ruins things. Ah. Guy is a YOLO swagger. We're probably quite far behind here. Bad supply block here. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna all-in him again, because this is not viable what he's doing, but... I think we can hold if we weren't supply blocked when he moved out. Yeah, like this should be a pretty easy hold. Just a supply block here at 100 that kinda kills us. The second order here was a bit too late. Probably should have pulled drones right away here too. The larva thing is, yeah, like it's very different from other RTS games. But yeah, like, yeah, if you're coming from AoE, then like Terran would feel the most natural to you, I think, in how they function. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna 12-11 him again. He's just playing too greedy to let him get away with it. I mean, your opponent kinda has a natural advantage in that situation. Yeah, like it'll be hard to get ahead. But usually the best way to play if you're playing early pool versus early pool is just try to drone as much as possible. Like start droning as early as possible and try to get away with as many drones as possible without dying. And then rely on Ling Baning control. Cancel your speed? No, I don't think you should cancel your speed. Like, you're already invested into it, like, so you're already in a rough spot. Oh. GG. Now, like, you don't want to cancel your speed in that situation because the way you can, like, get ahead or get even at least is by utilizing, like, Ling Bailing Micro. Because you already invested the money into the Ling speed, right? So you've already, like, delayed your bailing nest and everything else, right? So if you try to cancel it and play catch up, you're just playing from behind without any advantage. Like, Ling speed is a pretty big. Hello? Test. Did the mic just, like, randomly die? Didn't hear what I said? That was weird. I had to replug the mic for it to work again. But yeah, I just said, like, Ling speed is a pretty big advantage in, like, Ling Bane versus Ling Bane. So, like, when it comes to being able to micro and being able to, like, snipe Banelings and so on. No, I didn't click anything. I just had to, like, unplug the mic and plug it back in for it to work. I checked everything. There was no setting or anything. Yeah, yeah, and in those situations, the link speed is pretty big advantage. But again, you want to try to get away with as many drones as possible as well, because when it's like early pool versus early pool, usually the defender will have a pretty big advantage. But obviously, if he's like playing with a super fast expansion behind it, he's not gonna have like queens or spines to help defend. So then you have other advantages, right?
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단이 진화했음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 준비됨.
GG. I mean, I can do this all day. This guy's just gonna keep patch firsting every game. The grind. Did I try Steer Space? A little bit, a little bit. I think the game is fun, but it doesn't really scratch my RTS itch. Like again, it's a well-made game that I think is very fun, but for me to really enjoy an RTS game, it needs to have a lot of focus on economy management and macro. So like StarCraft and Age of Empires are like the two main games I enjoy in RTS. I was never super big on Warcraft 3 for the same reasons. Like obviously all the like Company of Heroes style RTS games I was never very big on either. Base build, I mean, somewhat. It's part of it for sure. It's more about, you know, having things to refine, having things to be efficient at. These kinds of things, right? Things that put the real time in real time strategy, right? Mhm. But yeah, let me know if my mic dies again, guys. Hopefully it won't happen, but expansions build too fast in SC2? No, not really. Like SC2's economy in general is pretty simple. It's just that the pacing of StarCraft 2 makes it complicated, right? Like it's hard to be super efficient because of how fast the game goes by. Whereas like if you look at AoE4 or like AoE2, the economy is way more complex and there's way more decision making into like when to mine what resource, right? And how many workers to put on what resource at any given time. But the game is a bit slower paced. Spending is feels too easy. I think that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, but Warcraft 3 is not so much about having a big economy, right? It's much more about being efficient with your creep patterns and your army composition and your micro, right? Because in Warcraft 3, just like expanding doesn't really reward you that much because there's the upkeep tax or whatever you want to call it. There's the way armies interact with each other. There's just less benefit to having a bigger economy and a bigger army. And there's a lot of other things you can do without a big economy in Warcraft 3 as well, right? Whereas in StarCraft 2, your options are very limited with a small economy. What's my favorite non-Zerg unit? That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Like favorite as in terms of like fun to play, I think probably maybe something like the Stalker. It's pretty fun to use. Could I increase the in-game volume? I can do that for sure. Let me know if it's too loud now, and I can turn it back down. But I turn it up a little bit. Yeah, I turned it up a little bit. Maybe I can turn it up more. Let me know. Let me know. The Proxid. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the Grandmaster activity has gone down a lot since the patch, but on Korea's server specifically, I think it had a lot to do with the hackers. But they actually seem to be gone now, so maybe they actually got banned. I'm not sure. I don't see them on the ladder anymore. So maybe they actually banned them. And it's been a while since we actually queued into a hacker, so maybe they actually fixed it. That would be pretty sick. Because yeah, what the problem Korea server had is just like there was a ton of hackers. A ton of hackers. Yeah, I don't think there was a patch, was there, in the last couple of weeks? I guess there could have been like a small ninja patch that just addressed the hackers. Maybe the hackers just got bored once everybody else stopped playing. It's also possible. Okay, I'm not sure how that works. The only like lag hack I'm aware of is one that like, just completely freezes the game.
진화했음.
GG. Misplaces stuff? Not really. He just needs to wall off a bit more. Yeah. He can yeah, also like drones and hold positions on the in the chokes, and like I think one more building for a wall is nice. Like I think the baiting nest, rather than being in front of his pool, should have been behind. Like make another wall with the baiting nest, then put the queen in the choke. That's kind of how you want to do it. This is why it says spring to 1. I mean 12-11. Yeah, I mean it's a strong build. It's a really strong build. I think it's holdable, but it's one of those things that looks like way harder to hold than it is to do it in the attack. It's not easy to do though. Like there's a lot of small micro and decision making you have to make in terms of like what fights to take and what fights to not take, when to use your banelings and how to use them. It's not super straightforward. But it's very strong if you get good at it, I think. It's kind of like 13-12 in the old patch, but there's a little bit more nuance to it, I think. Do any turn playstyles give me trouble? I mean, things since the new patch, ghosts in the late game are like just turtle Terran styles have gotten a lot stronger, for sure. Like the ghost is a lot stronger and the command center got cheaper. But in terms of like early game, mid game stuff, not so much, no. GG. Did I see the finals of the Pigfest? Can't really learn anything from pro games since their APM is over the limit. You can learn a lot, I think. But yeah, I mean, that's always been the case in StarCraft 2, right? Where it's like the strategy part is gate kept behind good mechanics, right? You can have like all the theoretical knowledge, all like the strategy know-how, all the correct reactions to everything, but if your mechanics are not there, it's not gonna matter, right? In StarCraft, a bad strategy executed well will always beat like a good strategy executed poorly. So yeah. That's why I'm always in a lot of my coaching sessions nagging about mechanics, because it's just really the most important thing when it comes to improving in StarCraft 2. I think it's gonna go hatch before pool 3 times in a row. Cannot get enemy bases? No. I never do that. I don't think it's possible to actually sneak out before this Overlord gets here on this map, so... Maybe it is if we run this way, but I feel like that's such a long way around. they're stubborn. All kinds of stubborn. It's getting a little bit boring. Like I would like to play something else, but they just keep going hatch first every single game, and nobody is even close to defending. Like I feel like if you're gonna play hatch first, you gotta at least have some way of holding this. At least an attempted way to do it. I mean, with hatch first, I think he has to try to fight for the low ground. With pull first, you can give up the low ground. But I mean, hatch first, you're kind of dead anyways, versus this build, I think. I don't think there's much you can do with hatch first. Hello, Dom. Isn't he just ahead if you kill the hatch but don't kill the workers? Yeah, exactly. But that's why I always go into the main base right away, right? And if I get worker damage, like I can always just fall back to killing the natural, right? Like if he's able to stabilize in the main base, I can always just start going for the natural. So it's very tough. CS is an easy hold. Yeah, I've heard that, but I need to see it to believe it, I think. With hatch first. Mm-hmm. Like I have no idea how I would like I have some ideas of how I would try to defend this with hatch first. But then it requires me knowing that this is the exact build as well. Because if it's like something like a 12 pool Baneling without linking speed, the response would be very different. How good are silver players? I mean, if you're coming from AoE 2, I guess that would be something like 900 MMR, right? How do you play versus defensive mech Terran? You play Ravageling Bane, and you go on like 95 drones, and you expand the entire map, and you just try to fight remax, fight remax, fight remax. Keeping your Ravagers alive. If they go like mass tank without any anti-air, you can go do a Broodlord switch. If they go like mass Thor, you can add in Infestors with Neuroparasite. How far behind are you with pull first versus hatch first? You're not super far behind in minerals. But you're behind in gas. Like you're behind like 60 gas or so. Well, the inject evens out because your first queen is faster, but you will have two queens at the same time, right? So it's just like, it kind of evens out, because you also miss larva from your hatchery being later. So it kind of like, larva-wise, you're pretty much even. But the difference is that he will be able to take his gas a little bit faster, because you have to make your overlord a little bit earlier. Yeah. I mean, it's in general good manners to ask before promoting stuff in a Twitch stream. But yeah. Oh, well, this guy's probably just gonna leave right away, right? Yeah. It seems like a cool idea. I might check it out later. Yeah, that's kind of true, Bears, I think. Because, like, early game CVC right now is kind of rock, paper, scissors, I think. It's possible to hold, like, some of the early pools with hatch first, but I think if your opponent has good micro, it's also really hard to make it work consistently. And, like, if you're playing rock, paper, scissors, then I think pool first is, like, the least extreme. It loses the least hard, if that makes sense. So probably, yeah. But at like a higher level, if you're playing tournaments and stuff, like, you need to play all three, because otherwise you're gonna get taken advantage of. Or at least you need to play 2 out of the 3. If you just play rock every time, you're gonna have a bad time. Don't see a natural with the scout. You would assume early pull, right? Yeah, I mean, that would be like, you assume early pool, and then if nothing is coming your way, because if it's an early pool, something should be coming your way, right? Then you should immediately start to think, what are the other options? Okay. Is he gonna go hatch first again, guys? Any betters? Turn APM in game. So this specific thing is like there's a UI skin. Not every UI skin has the APM counter. It's only a few of them that does. So you'll have to go to the collection page and then find a UI that has the APM meter. Oh, we did it again, guys.
진화 완료. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성 성공. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
I mean, he's pretty dead. Took a while to realize, but best defense so far. I mean, he survived the longest, but surviving isn't really winning, is it? I should have used hold position micro here. The thing is also in this case, I could have probably just like straight up killed him here because he built the spines like this. Like I could have blown up 2 spines with the same banelings. But he had transfuse, so that was a bit risky. I think just going for the run by was the best choice. And there's like no way he can stop it, right? Like he has no units to be able to do that. Could he spine shift click the spines? Yeah, and that's the way like he could actually maybe do something here. But even if he does, he's not gonna get all 5 banelings before they get to the ramp. And all I really need is to get into the main base, right? Like, he can maybe have a cleaner defense here, for sure, at this point. But the thing is, like, even if I do 0 damage here, we have to look at the situation, right? I have a queen and 2 hatcheries. He has a queen and 2 hatcheries. But I have link speed and a baiting nest, right? How many spines can kill a bane? 2. So, as long as I do, like, some damage with this attack, he's pretty cooked. And I know there was no second queen here, right? So, I know it's... I'll be able to get into the main base for sure. So there's always going to be some amount of damage. And I'm droning behind this right at this point, so... But, like, now the game is already over. Because again, the situation is kind of the same. But we just have a major tech advantage, right? Yeah, like he could have micro better for sure, but he can't kill, like, I don't need my Banias to get into the main base. I just really need to get some of my units into the main base, right? Because at the very least, if I get like 8 links into the main base, he's either gonna lose the queen, or he's gonna lose a bunch of mining time and a few drones to my links as well, right? I don't need to do a lot of damage here. We did game-ending damage this time, but even if we do way less damage, we're still winning really hard here. But yeah, that's what he should have done, yes. Target fire spines, but he's still pretty dead, even if that happens. We've played, what is it, 10 CVCs, and my opponents are gonna hatch first every single time. How does Shin have such high MMR? I mean, it's always been high MMR. It's never not been high MMR, I think, so... Would be weird if it wasn't this high MMR. Who is he playing? Well, like, he probably isn't gaining much MMR, right? But, he's not really losing it either. It's hard to climb when, you don't have high MMR opponents to play. So because he doesn't have high MMR opponents to play, like, even with his current win rate, like, he has an insane win rate right now, right? Let's see. Like, 35-1. He's probably, like, barely gaining an MMR here. Like, one more loss, and he's probably losing an MMR at this win rate. So... Yeah. I mean, I don't really think there is a defense. I would love to be proven wrong, because then I would start playing hatch first myself a lot more than I am. But from my point of view, I don't think there is a good defense with hatch first. Yeah, this was not a CVC. Okay. This is awkward. Too many games I'm playing this night. Started thinking about CVC again. That's my bad. I guess we're doing 12 pool? Or something of the sort. Okay, I need to think here. I mean, we're just gonna hope he doesn't SCV scout and we can run some links by the Reaper, right? It's the only real way out of this mess. That's really bad. Yeah, did not get the needed damage there, for sure.
군단 병력이 새로 받고 있음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 여왕 생성. 군단 병력이 공격 새로 있음. 여왕 준비됨. 군단이 진화했음. 천막 종양이 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성 성공. 새로운 여왕 준비돼. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성 성공. 병 완료. 병력이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 전방 조명이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 전방 조명이
Not very good play by me whatsoever.
군단 별이 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Ah, they missed my crew there. 진화 완료. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 광맥 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광맥 소진됨. 여왕 생성 성공. Oh shit. That was not good.
일벌레가 굴락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 적이
He has really bad upgrades too. I just got completely got off guard by this move up here.
광물지대 받아볼 수 없는 병력. 광맥 고갈됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 변이 완료. 군단 병 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 없는 명령임. 여왕 생성 성공. 새로운 여왕. 여왕 생성 성공. 소진됨. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 광맥 소진됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 광맥 고갈됨. 공격받고 있어. 공격받고 있어. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 화물지대 말라버림. 광맥 소진됨.
Oh, I never got the +3 armor actually.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 고갈됨. 화물지대 말라버림. 천막 종양 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 광
Messy game. Messy game. The game was pretty chill, but I like a lot of bad fights in this on this screen. A lot of bad fights here. This was pretty bad. This was pretty bad as well. My macro was slipping at the same time. Here I misclicked my bailing hotkey. Like he was all-inning on super hard. We did have +2 armor versus only +1, which is kind of why we were able to hold on here for a bit. Yeah, and then this fight, the next fight was just really bad. Here, losing these units for free. These units being a bit slow to cut the rally. Should split up some links into this mineral line too here. The F2. Kinda saved us there a little bit. But we managed to keep most of our drones alive throughout this. That's why we were able to come back. Yeah, like he was very all in, but yeah. At this point, he's just too broke to do anything really. Surprised how many ghosts he was able to get out though, but I guess he was cutting all of the production for it, so yeah, a pretty tiny army. GG. How to kill battlecruiser in TVT? Vikings and your own battlecruisers, I would say. Yeah, I could see that. Alright, rematch. Let's not go 12 pull this time. The unintentional 12 pull. Slightly late on this hatchery here. CC first, yeah.
셋. 준비됨. 여왕 생성 성공. 여왕 생성 성공. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 군단 병력이 여왕 생성 성공. 진화. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 정막 중량이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 정막 중량이 공격받고 있음.
It sucks I lost all my queens there. No road speed also really hurts here. 정막 중량이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 여왕 생성 성공. 유전자 변화됨. 군단 광맥 소진됨. 진화 완료.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광물지대 말라버림. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 여왕 승리. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광맥 소진됨. 변이 완료. 유전자 군단이 말라버림. 광맥 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 변이 완료. 이 공격받고 있어. 광맥 소진됨. 공격받고 있어.
You're stuck 4 out of 10 on placement matches. Playing unranked doesn't move you from 4 to 10. I think you gotta play ranked, no? Or am I crazy? I'm not sure exactly how it works. You play 10 different days or buy the game. Okay, that's how it works. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a way to stop people from just making new accounts, right? I actually didn't know that was a thing. That's nice. Yeah, the early game was a little bit dicey. Like losing the queens was kind of sloppy. But once we were at the stage of the game, it was pretty chill. Killing the 3 tanks here was pretty big. Did he cancel Roach Speed? No, I didn't cancel Roach Speed. I accidentally started Tunneling Claws first, and I canceled it and started Roach Speed. Hmm. GG. Be right back, guys. 1 second. Sandstorm, thank you so much for the 79 months, dude. Thank you so much, man. Any gamers on the ladder? Yeah, thank you, dude. Thank you for being here. Bit of a downtime in the queue here. We're getting games pretty back to back until now. Still inside eye versus Battlefield Muras. You have to be very careful, right? Especially if they play like a 2cc opener. You kind of have to treat it like you're playing versus a 2-on-1. Like low drone counts, a lot of mutas and links. You're not too concerned about winning the ground fight too much. Like you just want to make sure that the links go in first to tank the lock-ons. Because like once the lock-on is on cooldown, your mutas should beat the cyclones, right? Early on. It gets more tricky later into the game once you start adding like widow mines and stuff, but early on, as long as you're able to like tank the lock-ons with a couple of links, you should be okay as long like you're fighting defensively on creep and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I would not drone the third right away. Like obviously if it's a 3cc opener, you can get away with more drones. But if it's a 2cc opener, then you want to be more careful. Yeah. No, I think it's also tricky. Like I mentioned before, if you're running into the same opponents a lot of the time, like playing 2-base Cyclone or like Cyclone openers in general, like even with 3cc, as a response to Muta, like 2-base Muta, is not a bad thing to do. So if your opponent knows you're gonna play 2-hatch Muta, then they might do it in response. So it could be worth to mix in like some 2-hatch Roach builds as well. But in general, you just have to be a bit more careful with your droning. Make sure you have enough links early on. Well, you don't really want to rush into roaches too much, because then you're not gonna have enough mutas or enough roaches to actually matter. But yeah, it's a good idea to get the roach horn fairly early and like start roach speed. And when your roach speed is about to finish, then you can start making roaches. But you kind of have to, like, if you're starting 2-base muta, you kind of have to commit to Lingbane or like muta Ling for a little bit. You can't just go straight into roach, because then you don't have enough mutas to actually defend anything, and you won't have enough roaches either. So stay on muta Ling for a little bit, and then you can start transitioning into roaches. Hello, hello. Oh, I don't only have 2 gas. I was like, why is my gas so low? This is gonna be a bit tricky. Do I go Baneless here? I guess I do. I kinda have to. Kinda have to skip the Ling speed here, because I'm so late. I guess the upside is that my bailingness will be slightly quicker. Do I still get Ling speed? I think I kind of do, maybe. Yeah, I'm still gonna get Ling speed here. My build is kind of all over the place here, but...
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Ah, no, that's a misclick. That's a big misclick. Big misclick there.
군단이 진화했음. 새로운 여왕.
Ah, dude. This was really bad by me. Yeah, I messed this game up quite a bit. Quite a bit. Yeah, lots of big misplays here.
여왕 생성 성공. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있습니다. 새로운 여왕 군단
Yeah, this was a messy ass game. For sure. Messy ass game. Do you have a minimum number of mutas you make every time with 2H muta? Even versus mech? Yeah, with 2H muta I would say like minimum 10. Depends though. Like if it's going like not into Cyclone mech and I see that it's not making Cyclone mech and like it's making Thors, for example, I could consider like going less, like 6. But if I know it's like making Cyclones, or if I'm not sure, I would always make a high number of units. Yeah. I mean, this game was just a mess because of the build order. It was a big mess. Okay, I think after we killed the hatchery though, things were pretty chill, especially when we killed it the second time. Even though our macro was a bit bad here. We ended up in a good spot. This is talent pool without hatch. No, this was supposed to be like 12-11 into Ling Speed into Baiting Nest, but I accidentally only put 2 on gas, so I didn't have enough gas for my my Ling Speed. So we had to improvise, you could say. Oh yeah? Yeah, I mean, that happens every now and then. I know Lyric is like a big RTS guy, right? He plays a lot of different RTS games. At least he used to. The only pro player on playing Korea Ladder. Not the only one. There's Shin here, Heroes Random, and some Chinese pros. But yeah, there's not many. Not many. But to be fair, I don't think there's like the ladder on all 3 servers right now is pretty dead at the higher MMRs, because the patch isn't very interesting. There's also a lack of big tournaments to play, so. Which is why this happens. 4-minute queues. Why so long for the waiting time? Yeah, it's because our MMR is quite high, and there aren't that many other high MMR players playing. Like, it'll probably take us like 2.5-3 minutes to find somebody that's like 5-4, right? So a 3-minute queue would be somebody on this page, basically. And then if we're queuing longer, then, you know, goes longer and longer down the list, but there's only so many players we can match with. When is BlizzCon? It's in September, right? It's like mid-September? Early September? I think. In like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, no, I hope so too. I hope so too. Like, I think, from my opinion, what I think they should do is just revert the patch for the most part, like most of the changes. The things they can keep, I think, is the resource changes. I think those are interesting. And like, they can keep messing with the warp gate stuff, I think, but yeah, the worker start and the larva change and the command center change are like, they have to go. Yeah. Like, changing something as fundamental as something as fundamental as what's it called? As the worker starts. It can be done, but they have to like monitor it, and there's like so many cascading effects that it has. They kinda just have to yeah, if they're gonna do it, it requires a lot more attention and a lot more effort. So, and it seems like they're not willing to do that, so then they shouldn't do it at all. Do I miss playing CVP at a high level? No, not really. I played enough CVPs for, like, during the last 4 years for for a lifetime. Yeah. Like, Legacy of the Void, there's been like so many balance patches, right? Around adjusting things around 12 workers. Legacy of the Void has been out for over 10 years. Like, there's so many things they have to look at and keep an eye on if they do a change like that. Especially when they're like... It's like a pretty meaningless change as well. Like, it doesn't really actually change much of how the game is played. And they're not doing it packed in with like a big expansion or anything, right? It's not gonna bring in many new players either. So there's really little reason to actually do it. But if they're gonna do it, they have to do it properly. Otherwise they're just taking a crap on the current player base. Again, there's so many other changes they could do that would be more fun. More interesting. It would have less cascading effects. Get to 100 months? For sure, dude. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
여왕 생성 성공. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 진화 완료. 여왕 생성 성공. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있을 수 없는 명령임. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 정막 중앙이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 진화 완료. 유전자 변형. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단이 진화했음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 변이 완료. 왕랩 소진됨. 병력이 공격받고 있음. 굴락지가 직접
I mean, I thought this guy did... Like, I always said it was a big skill gap, but he played not bad for a diamond. Matching versus diamonds. Yeah, we had like a 6-minute queue. Yeah, almost 2 KMMR difference. How long will the stream be? I'm not gonna go for a super. Depending on the ladder, of course. If we can't find games, then maybe it'll end sooner. I mean, it's not refusing to play on the ladder, it's just that there's very little reason to, because there aren't that many big tournaments, so there's not much to practice for, and then with the current state of the game, with the current patch, the game is less fun. Yeah. And also there's a big patch rumored after BlizzCon, right? So a lot of people are probably just waiting for that patch to drop as well. Will I keep Rotosaran? I mean, the problem would be the same because I don't have separate MMR yet in this account. So if I queue Rotosaran, I'm gonna queue at the same MMR. It's gonna use my Surge MMR to start off at. And then it's just gonna go down right after I start losing. Am I in Korea at the moment? Yes, I live in Korea. Yeah, that's like the one upside of the patch is a lot less bad than it was. Okay. Didn't accidentally go 12 pull this time versus turn, so that's nice. So that we can go hang out sometime. I mean, it'd be fun to do at some point. Oh shit! 1 second here. Let me just not die to this first and foremost.
여왕 생성 공격받고 있음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임.
This was not good by me whatsoever. It was a 3 Rex though, but yeah, we're very far behind. Was it a 3 Rex even?
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 받아들일 수 없는 적이 일벌레
What?
공격 중.
That wasn't supposed to happen. Not even sure how that happened. Okay. Top spot. Top spot.
여왕 생성 성공. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 새로운 여왕 준비됨.
Could be BC, I guess, which would be problematic.
새로운 종양이 공격받고 있음. 정막 종양이 공격받고 있음.
Yeah.
군락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성 성공. 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 일벌레가 공격받고 있음. 여왕색 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 여왕 생성 성공. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 새로운 여왕 진화 완료. 유전자 변형된 군단 받아들일 수 없는 생성 성공. 군락지가 직접 공격받고 있어. 받아들일 수 없는 병력. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 변 완료. 새로운 여왕 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 왕맥 소진군. 변형됨. 군단 별이 됨. 천막 중앙이 공격받고 있음. 받아들일 수 없는 병력임. 변형됨. 군단 별이 됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 진화. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단이 진화했음. 광물질. 광맥 소진됨. 광맥 고갈됨. 천막 중량이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 완료. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광물지대 말라버림. 진화 완료. 유전자 변형됨.
GG. Detective, and thank you so much for the 29-month Prime sub. Thought I missed it. Was there an alert, guys? Maybe I just missed it. Yeah, this was a mess. My early game defense was a complete mess. This hits pretty hard. Like even versus with pull first here. Not sure what the best response is. Pulling drones feels kind of like a meme. Obviously losing this overlord was bad. Did allow us to kill the bunker though. Yeah, here's where we got like super inefficient. 10 drones, 11 drones. Yeah, this is a rough spot. We did get some counter damage at least. What, 3 SCVs? Kill the tech lab. We're able to drone pretty hard. Yeah, I guess looking at this, it doesn't look too bad, right? But I think if we don't get the counter damage in there, it's a lot worse, for sure. How to win micro infestors? It kind of depends on the situation, like what army you're up against, right? But in general, whenever you're using any spellcaster, you're always trying to keep them like at the as far away as possible, but still in range to actually cast the spells, right? A little bit further. Do we actually have Vipers as well? Like, Fungal has pretty long range. As you can see, like, this is to the center of the Fungal. So, like, I can cast the Fungal, like, right here, right? And it's gonna hit. So I don't really want my Infestor to be, like, here if I'm gonna Fungal here, right? Not sure if the BC is still alive, but... So, it's obviously easiest if you have them on their own control groups. And then you're just trying to keep them close, but not too close. Just throw Fungals at like the max range, ideally. So you give them less time to see the Infestor coming, and also more likely to keep your Infestor alive. If you're using Vipers, then you want to be using like shift move commands a lot. So for example, like if I want to abduct this queen, the way you would do it is you would abduct and then shift move command back, like this. So that your Vipers are running away from the danger. You don't want to like A move forward and then like abduct, because then whatever Viper you're not using is gonna just run into the army. And also the Viper that's throwing the abduct is gonna pull the unit for less range. Like, if I just click abduct on this queen, let's make sure we put on this tumor, so we have like a point to measure with. If I just click it and I don't do anything else, it's gonna pull it to like right here, right? But if I shift queue it, or like shift a move command after doing the abduct, we do this, and then move command back, it's gonna go further. So it went here last time, and it goes like slightly further, right? It's not a big difference, but it's somewhat of a difference. And then also, it keeps your Viper more safe, which is the biggest thing. But yeah, in general, like just try to keep them on max range. There's moments, for example, where, like in the mid game and late game, where you'll keep like a side army away from your main army. And it can be nice to put like a single infestor in that side army. So like, let's say you have this army here, and then 2 medevacs show up. Just having this infestor here to like fungal the bio units so he can't pick up can be nice, right? Especially if you add in Hydras to that as well, or something else, like queens. Kill the medevacs. But for the big fights, I pretty much always keep my spellcasters on their own control group. If I'm making corruptors, I will hotkey them together with the Vipers. But then, like, if I have Vipers, or if I have Raptors hotkeyed with my my Vipers. I will, instead of doing a shift and move command like this, I will do a shift and A move. So we like shift and A move over here. It's gonna still do the same thing, but because the Viper doesn't have an A move attack, right? But it's when you do A move with Vipers, they get a move command instead, right? No need separate infestors. You're an F2 player. I mean, in general, playing as a Zerg, using F2 a lot, it's a big crutch. It makes things simpler for you for now, but the better you get, the more problems it's gonna cause for you, because your opponent is gonna start multitasking more and more. You're gonna have to split yourself up more and more, and if you're exclusively using F2, it's almost gonna be impossible for you to have units in position at the correct time when you need to. So I would recommend getting used to at least using a couple of hotkeys. You can still like hotkey your infestors with your main army. Like this, right? You can have your infestors on the army control group if you want to. But you do want to get used to using multiple control groups, otherwise it's gonna hurt you in the long run. Again, if you're just pressing F2, like you see, like every time I use F2, the armies from the side come here, like my overseer runs in, I can't use the overseer to scout. If there's like a watchtower or like a Zergling I'm keeping on this base to check for this. Every time I F2, I'm gonna pull those away. It just becomes impossible to actually play the game properly. Which, yeah. Pinky pressing control? Yeah, I've always used that. Like, I don't use the tip of my finger on my pinky, I use like the bottom end of my pinky to press the control. Have you seen Lambo's latest video? Is that the patch video? That's the latest Lambo video I saw. Yeah. I mean, I agree with pretty much everything. Yeah. Like, I don't really have anything, like, nothing that he said is like, no, I don't agree with that, really. The only thing I would add to what he said is just, I think there's like some good things with this patch, and I think the biggest thing is the resource changes. Like, I think it's quite nice that the bases mine out faster overall. I think it's nice that there's less gas overall on the map, because it makes the late game a bit more interesting. Gives more value to cheaper units in the late game. But yeah, other than that, I pretty much agree with everything he said. But yeah, like I wish, like, instead of wasting so much time on this like nonsense worker change that doesn't actually do anything, and it's just like breaking stuff because it has a snowball effect on everything, or a cascading effect on everything, I guess. I would rather see them actually make changes, like changes to units, changes to upgrades. They could mess around with that a lot more because it has less cascading effects, right? And then you can actually test some cool stuff, like redesign the Brood Lord, redesign the Disruptor, redesign the Thor, whatever, right? Like, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what they cook up for after BlizzCon, I guess. Hopefully it'll be good. Mm, I mean, it feels like you have even less options than you did before. And Zerg was already suffering from like a lack of variety and a lack of viable aggressive openers. The main reason for that is that let me load the music a little bit. The main reason for that is that like the larva buff, like the hatches being more expensive, and queens still being expensive, and the larva buff, like the larva buff doesn't really make it so you have like a shit ton of more units, right? What the larva buff does for you in the early game, especially, is allow you to get your economy going faster. Because of how Zerg economy works, it's just like every time you can get a drone out just like a second faster or half a second faster or whatever, that allows you to get your next drones a little bit faster, right? It has this like snowballing effect to your economy. So just having those larvas just a couple of, like, what is it? Not even a full second faster. Just allows your economy to get going that much faster. But only if you're making drones, right? If you're making units, then you're not really getting that much from the larva buff. Sure, you'll have like a couple of links out a little bit faster, but in terms of unit production, it's not that big. It's just very, very big, especially in the early game. Like as you're saturating your first two bases, that's when the larva buff has the biggest impact on Zerg. But that means that you have to drone to actually get any benefit from the larva buff. Otherwise, we're just playing a game where we have more expensive queens and hatcheries, right? So, from my point of view, like Zerg has even less aggressive options now than he did before, and the options was already pretty slim. Feel bad for the guy, but he's not really gonna lose any MMR. I do have a Discord server. There should be a command for it. I think it's already posted in the chat, actually, but... ! Discord should bring it up for you. Sad sack the goat. Just got you covered. Yeah, I played a lot of SE1 before SC2 came out. Between like 2006 and like the end of 2009 or so, I played a lot of Brood War. This is first. Music, there's a playlist command you can use to find. There used to be a song command, but sadly it kind of stopped working.
공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성 성공. 군단이 진화했음.
Your own SC1 campaign, I posted in Discord. If you have like a Team Liquid post or something about it, you can post that. Direct links can be a little bit dicey.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 여왕 생성.
A lot of gateways. A lot of gateways. It's not building anything though. Probably should get some gateways. Alright, alright, alright. I see how it is.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 병력이 공격받고 있음. 공격받고 있음. 일벌레가 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 진화 완료. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 여왕 군단 병력이 전투하고 이스벌레 공격 중. 병 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
GG. Mhm. Yeah, that was a lot of gateways. Too many gateways, I think. Pretty sure I couldn't use all 12 of them. It was fun. GG. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, getting the full scout definitely helped. Mhm. I would prefer it if you just made a thread on Team Liquid about it and then post the thread to the link to the Team Liquid thread. Direct file download links and stuff like that. It's, yeah, a little bit. Don't want to have the habit of letting that through, right? For safety reasons. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me for today, guys. The ladder is slowing down a lot, and we've been going for a while, so I'm gonna go get some dinner. I hope you all enjoyed the stream today. And I will be back tomorrow. Who do we raid? We could raid Wardy. Let's raid Wardy. He's gonna cast some games. Shin is playing a little bit later, so that should be fun. If you did enjoy the stream, guys, consider checking out the Patreon. We have a bunch of coaching options there and some other stuff that's pretty cool. So if you're interested in coaching or just looking to get better at StarCraft in general, consider checking it out. And yeah, I will be back again tomorrow. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll send you over to Wardy.